Now what we're going to do in this section is, instead of starting out with the equation and graphing the line, we're going to start out with the graph and see if we can write the equation of the line. Let's look at our first graph. Here again we have our coordinate system, our x-axis and our y-axis. We want to find the equation of this line that's graphed. Well, how are we going to do that? We know from our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, all we need to find is the slope, m, and the y-intercept, b, and we'll be in business. So let's first of all see what information we can get by examining the graph. Well, hopefully you see right off here that the y-intercept is obvious. Our graph is crossing the y-axis at 1. In fact, let's go ahead and label these ordered pairs. This is 0, 1. And this one here is what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 2. This is the ordered pair 6, 2. So to begin with, we're going to put our graph into the equation y equals mx plus b. Right away here, we found that b is equal to 1. Well, now that b is equal to 1, the only thing left for us to do in this problem is to find m, the slope. We just labeled this point 0, 1. We labeled this point 6, 2. Are you thinking the same thing I am? We should be able to find the slope easily by simply using the slope formula. So m, the slope formula, is equal to the difference in the y's. So that can be 2 minus 1 over the difference in the x's, 6 minus 0. So in this case, 2 minus 1 is 1. 6 minus 0, 6. What does this tell me? This tells me that my slope is 1/6, my y-intercept is 1, and that's all the information I need for writing the equation of this line. So using my slope-intercept form, y is equal to 1/6 x plus b, but we found b equals 1. So again, just to show or to clarify the equation of this line, we'll write it right above it, y equals 1/6 x plus 1. Again, if we memorize slope-intercept form and recognize y-intercept, where is it crossing the y-axis? That's simple, at 1. What is the slope? We can use the 2 points to find it. It's pretty easy. Now, one other thing that you could do if you'd like. If you like counting, another easy way to find the slope is to do the following. Start at one point and actually count to find the slope. In other words, all we have to do is get from this point here, the one up here, notice we have to go up 1, or my rise is 1. And notice it's 1 in the positive direction, so it's up 1. And then we have to run over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My run is 6. So this here, by just counting the number of spaces between the 2 points, that's another way to calculate my slope. So you have a choice. You can either use the slope formula and calculate the slope algebraically, or you can go ahead and actually count and kind of do more of a geometric approach. Now that we wrote the equation given a particular line, let's make it a little bit more challenging for ourselves. Let's again write the equation of the line, but this is the information we're going to use. We're going to say that our line passes through the point -8, +12, and has a slope of 3/4. Now, we're going to want to write our final solution again in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So notice at least we have the m, but what's missing in this case is we don't have our b value. So what can we do? Well, let's again write the equation y equals mx plus b. We're very happy with the fact that we are given the slope is 3/4. That's going to just slip into our equation for m. But what we're not so happy about is that we have no idea what b is equal to. How are we going to find our y-intercept? Well, one way to do it, and we can do this algebraically, is since we know a value for x and y, the ordered pair -8, 12, which lies on the line, we can take these 2 points, x and y, substitute it into this equation, take m equals 3/4, substitute it into the equation as well. That takes care of these 3 variables. What's left is b, and we can solve our equation for b. So here we go. Y is equal to 12. M is equal to 3/4. X is equal to -8. And then we have plus b at the end. Let me again show you all the substitutions I just made. Y, 12. M, 3/4. X, -8. And then there's the plus b. Notice what we like about this is that now we have this equation in terms of b only, and b is the only thing that's holding us back from being able to write the equation of our line. So this gives me 12 equals, do a little arithmetic here, 4 goes into there, -2 times. That gives me -6 plus b. We're going to finally add 6 to both sides. So b is equal to -6 plus 12, which gives me 18 there. So now that I have my 2 pieces of information, I have b equals 18, and I have m is equal to 3/4. I take these 2 big pieces of information, substitute it here into y equals mx plus b to get y equals 3/4 x plus 18. So there we have it. We have finally there the equation of our line. So now let's try another problem. Let's again, and I know that these problems are a bit difficult. It just takes a little practice and to keep recognizing what information is given and what you need to find. Now we're going to make it even a bit more difficult. What we're going to do this time is find the equation of the line that passes through the following points, 3, 5, and -1, 1. Not much information to begin with here. So again, we want to find the equation of the line that passes through the points 3, 5 and -1, 1. Now again, remember we'd like to get our equation in the form y equals mx plus b. So what we need to find are the 2 values m and b. Well, let's think. Can we find m? Well, sure we can. We can find m by using our slope formula. So m is equal to, remember, the difference in the x's, the difference in the y's over the difference in the x's. So the difference in the y's would be 5 minus 1 over the difference in our x's, 3 minus -1. Again, just working through the arithmetic, 5 minus 1 is 4. We have 3 minus -1, which gives me positive 4. Because we change the signs, 4 over 4 is 1. What does that tell me? That tells me that m is equal to 1. That's one piece of the puzzle, isn't it? So back here at y equals mx plus b, I just found the fact that m is equal to 1. Let's keep our facts over here so we know what's left. So we found m is equal to 1. Now what we need to do then to finish off this problem is we need to find the value of b. So far, what do we know? We know m is equal to 1. We know that these 2 points lie in our line. Do you remember the previous example? We took the value of m, substituted into this equation, and then used the point that lied on the line and substituted for x and y, and therefore we were able to solve for b. You say to yourself, wait a minute, this time I've got 2 points. Which one do I use? Use the one you like best. Personally, I usually use the one that has smaller numbers. So I'm going to take this ordered pair, -1, 1, for my x and y values, substitute it here, use m equals 1, substitute it for m, and that'll give me b. Let's do it. We have y, 1, equals m, which we just found to be 1, times x, here it is, -1, plus b. Wait a minute, that's a lot of ones. Let's check to make sure we didn't make a mistake there. We've got y, which here it is 1, equals m, we found to be 1. X, we're using this ordered pair, so x is -1, plus b. Not bad. So that gives me 1 equals 1 times -1 is -1 plus b. So adding -1 to both sides, b is not equal to 1. When I add 1 to both sides, I get 2. Remember, I add +1 here to make that 0, +1 here on the left-hand side to get b equals 2. So did I get what I wanted? Well, I certainly did. I found that b is equal to 2, which finishes the last piece of my puzzle. So I can write my final equation here. Let's give ourselves a little bit of room. As the following, we found m equals 1, b equals 2. So our final equation is y equals 1 times x, which is simply x, plus b, which is 2. So the equation of a line that connects these 2 points when you graph them on the coordinate system is y equals x plus 2. Again, let me go through the procedure because I know that it's a little bit complicated. Step number 1, what did we do? We used the fact that we could find our slope by subtracting, using the slope formula, subtracting the y's and subtracting the x's. We found our our m is equal to 1. Now to find b, on the other hand, we take any point, or either of the 2 points. In this case, we used -1, 1, and the fact that m is 1, substitute all those 3 values into the form y equals mx plus b, solve for b, which gave us the second piece of our puzzle, take the values for m and b, substitute it into the form y equals mx plus b, and you finally have the equation of your line.